I'm going, wow, it's really but the 5G network does scare me. It scares me a lot.
So they were also talking.
I refuse. I refuse to use it. I won't use that.
They were talking. They're comparing this. They're comparing this situation to what the Spanish flu was like during the old days. What year was that? Was that like
1918?
Yeah, 1918.
Yeah, but they said that during that time they came out with what was it?
Well, that's when all the
radiation,
the power lines, all the power lines in the United States started going up in 1918, and also that was when they had the big Spanish flu thing. So now they're saying 5G is another thing connected to what's going on now with COVID-19.
Yeah.
So last time all those people died during that time in 1918 was on all the power lines around the United States were going up. And the body was not used to all that type of electricity around that it was. And I'm sure that line is completely, I can't imagine what that power line was like back then. Probably very primitive, but I'm sure it had a lot of stuff coming out of it.
Oh yeah,
people.
I mean technology is great, but we really have to watch, what we expose our bodies to, and some of it we don't have control over. Obviously, if they're going to put power lines up back then, they put them up. Same thing with 5G, we could be against it, but they're building these towers, and unless some government official comes in, I mean it's the wave of the future.
So there's houses in Coronado that you can drive around where our office is at, and it actually has signs in their yard saying no to 5G. You should get some pictures.
I know there are areas, Brett. I think it's either Escondido or Encinitas. One of them, 5G currently. I mean, it whether it stays that way is another matter. But it's against the law. They will not put cell towers that are 5G up in the area.
So somebody's probably leaking this information out that it is having an effect. Because I don't know how people are hearing about this other than the internet.
If you do a deep dive, and I haven't done it as deep as I've wanted to, but if you do a deep dive and just start poking around, a lot more of your safety websites, you're not going to find it on if you go to a lot of your cell phone providers to find the information, because they want to obviously market it. But you can find the basic information. To back up real quick, we were talking about the deaths in San Diego. The county saw an additional death today, and that marks 17 deaths since the outbreak actually began, and now the region has a total of 1,112 COVID-19 cases, and that's up from 966 yesterday.
So how many people died in San Diego?
17 currently.
Okay. But I hear overall California has some of the lowest ratios of death per capita compared to like New York.
That's good. That's a good thing, and maybe we're doing the social distancing thing a little better than in most areas. I would hope so. I think it makes a big difference myself. I really do.
Well, here's another thing too. In California, we have cars, right? And in New York, they use the subway.
That's
very true. Because I'll tell you what I've done when I get a little stir crazy.
Right.
I get in my car. I will go for a drive down the freeway, down by the beach area. I won't get out. I'll drive along the coast, and then I'll drive back home. New York's a different beast. You really, in a lot of the areas, they can't do that.
No. It's really, really great the way the way the subway system works, and it's effective. But I could see where it'd be really germy because of all the people.
What do you guys think? I am hoping, and again, this is a day-to-day thing. It's hard to figure it out. Even scientists have projections, but they even say to predict it is unbelievable. I would hope that we by summertime can at least get the numbers down, the top of the bell curve flattened out, and to get some type of normalcy back to everyday life. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a possibility? I
told Brett I think by July 1st, and he said, I've always, I've been thinking about July 4th, and I thought, yeah, I think it's, with California, I think it is a possibility because, if you look at the rate we're going at, but, again, it's just a guess. So.
Yeah. It's pretty much
a guesstimate.
For instance, I'm in a long distance relationship. I live on one coast. She lives on the other. She lives in Georgia. And we had trips in April and May planned, and obviously we've canceled those now. And she asked me, when we're going to be able to do that. And my only answer is I don't know. When this thing dies down, I obviously want us both to be safe. So, you're seeing a lot of these airfares are super low. There's 3 people on most of the planes, but still doesn't take that and make that 100% safe to do traveling. I won't do it right now.
No.
Right.
So I heard that the cruise lines have really taken a big hit, and what they've done is, rather than go out for all this money that's being offered by the government, which I'm sure they'll get some, they've offered these really great package deals, and they've sold like $40 million worth of sales in the last 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So they're not hurting. They're stockpiled. They've stockpiled these deals for, they've raised like something like $40 million.
Yeah, because they're selling them so cheap that, and they're
Smart.
saying, okay, and you can, and we'll start this next year or whatever. So, yeah, that's pretty smart.
Maybe the airline industry should, think along those lines, because I know that is probably one of the main industries right now, as far as when you're talking big industries, that's really hurting because there's nobody on flights. I mean, nobody's going anywhere.
Well, I have to tell you, I've been looking online to see if there are any deals with the airline companies. And because, we travel a lot. So I've been looking online to see if there's any deals, and there really isn't.
Well, that's the point. So maybe what they need to do is loosen up the purse strings a little bit, and rather than just looking for government to bail them out, which I know they need the money. Any smart business right now is going to say they're hurting, even if they're not.
Oh, sure.
Because if you were going to want to get the tax reductions and you're going to want to get the revenue from the entities like the SBA or any of these other groups, I mean, you're going to try to get that money for a rainy day. If you don't, you're foolish.
Well, what really makes me sad is you see a lot of your bigger businesses and your bigger companies, no matter the industry, they're going to come back. Yeah, they're going to have suffered some losses. What really breaks my heart is I know personally people that have small businesses, and they've had to pretty much, they're done. They've closed. Not only have they closed, they've permanently closed because they can't deal with the lack of business. It's too hard on them.
That's right.
So we appreciate you being on the show, and would you come back sometime?
I would love to be back, Brett. I always I always try and talk a lot of common sense approach. I might not be an expert on, for instance, COVID-19, but I am, being in the media, I know how to do my research and find out enough about a certain subject to be, pretty well versed in, what's going on and taking a common sense approach. So anytime you guys want me back, I'm here for you. We
appreciate that. Okay, thank you so much, Noah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Noah.
Talk to you guys soon.
Okay.
So thank you, everybody for listening. Thank you to my co-hosts, Sarah Morga and Crystal Balk.
Pronounce the L. Crystal
Balk. It's an inside joke. We have a lot of crystals, and if we get another person named Krista, I'm going to shoot myself. But anyway. Thanks, everybody, for being here at the Brett Davis Unleashed Show, coming to you from IQ Podcast at Attorney King Studios in Coronado. Thank you very much.